But before we jump into the topic, I would just like to give a little bit of background and context on GSA and how we organize around tackling the identity challenge. So the General Services Administration was established by President Truman in 1949, really to streamline the administrative work of the federal government. And today, our mission has evolved to provide stewardship of the way the government uses and provides real estate, acquisition services, and technology. For example, GSA provides workspace to more than 1 million federal civilian workers. We facilitate the federal government's purchase of goods and services and protect over 27 million Americans' digital identity accounts with a service we call login.gov. So now that you know a little bit more background on what GSA does, let's dig a little bit deeper on digital identity. We at GSA think about identity in 3 large organizational buckets. The first is policy, where we distill the many regulations and requirements from legislation to executive orders into cohesive guidance for our agency partners. 2 are internal identities, where we have offices that manage the access control for federal employees and contractors, both physically and logically. And then 3rd, the general public, where we work to ensure that the person at the keyboard or mobile device really is who they say they are, to either distribute a benefit or provide them with access to information, which is where I spend most of my time. So how have we reimagined digital identity and what are our lessons learned from the past year? First, I think the pandemic response last year underscored the importance of effective online platforms for government service delivery. While the concept of eGov is not new, we in government understood the importance of enabling this digital channel with the public, really from an efficiency and usability perspective. It was just cheaper and more efficient to help someone online than have to staff and operate physical locations spread across the US. The pandemic provided even stronger impetus to invest online. And that's really the safety and well-being of our constituents. Second, once we became online and online was understood as a necessity, having an infrastructure to scale up accordingly became the next challenge. Many state and local and even federal agencies were challenged to meet the demand their online portals were now seeing. So enabling secure cloud infrastructure that could meet this surge in traffic became a critical need. And third, after you got online and can meet the surge, fraud began to increase dramatically. A study reported in USA Today estimated $38 billion of fraud just from unemployment insurance benefits last year. So an effective investment in identity verification for online applications really could help mitigate that fraud to hopefully prevent impersonation attacks when a fraudster steals your PII and tries to collect benefits in your name, to potentially eligibility fraud by ensuring only individuals that are really eligible for that benefit are the ones receiving it. And so by understanding this pressing need for effective identity verification, we recently were able to open up login.gov services for use at the state and local level on their federally funded programs. Historically, login was specifically leveraged for federal programs only. So now GSA is able to provide strong identity verification and authentication capabilities to our state and local governments constituents facing web portals and improve the overall experience for users when they interact with the government, when they utilize federally funded programs administered at the state or local level. So, what does this all mean? To me, it highlights the importance of coming together to solve large problems. It means don't try to build your own identity verification, authentication system and expect it to work at scale. You need to look around you and leverage trusted shared services so you can focus on what your organization does best, whether that's assisting a small business in getting a disaster recovery loan, or dispersing a financial benefit, or scheduling a vaccine appointment. Let shared solutions solve our shared challenges. So in closing, I want to challenge this group of innovators to continue working on this digital identity challenge because we're not close to done. In my experience, the maturity of digital identity solutions has reached a point where we can confidently identify about 75% of the US population remotely. But in government, we need to have a 100% solution. So my challenge to this group is, how do we effectively reach that last 25%, who may honestly be the most important individuals to receive government benefits? Thank you again for your time and attention, and I look forward to answering some of your questions.